Hey, it's Kevin Buck again from Servpro, the Twin Ports. So I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that make mold concerning. If you see mold in your home, you should be, it's not that you should be worried about it, but you should be concerned righteously, because mold actually can have some pretty toxic effects with human beings and pets. So let's get into it. All right, so mold was created to live outside. All right, so that's just fine. Out in the woods, on rotten logs, on rocks, you see lichens and mold and different things on various surfaces, fungi of different varieties. Just fine outside. Creatures that have died out in the woods, you've got these rotting processes that take place. That's Mother Nature doing its thing. Okay, but as soon as mold gets on the inside of your house, now you got a problem because it wasn't built for that. Now, the way the biology of molds is that they grow and they grow. The way they reproduce is they generate little spores or little seeds. It's kind of like dandelions in the summertime. Wind comes along, poof, they go flying through the air miles and miles, and then they infect somebody else's yard and cause a dandelion nightmare. But that's what molds do. It's the same sort of a thing. They have little spores that are very, very tiny, microscopic in size. They fly around in the air, they settle on surfaces, and they wait. They can wait for thousands of years, millions of years, until the right conditions occur when they will become active as a colony once again. So they're looking for moisture, the right kind of moisture, the right kind of temperature on the right food source, and whammo, you've got yourself a new mold colony. Okay, so they generate spores. The spores are airborne. They travel around, and millions of spores are generated by mold colonies, and they keep pushing out again and again and again. Okay, so why is this a problem? These little teeny particles. Why does it affect us? Well, I'm glad you asked, because mold colonies, when they're growing together, compete against food sources. There are thousands of varieties of mold. It's not just because you see black mold. Is it actually a black mold? There's hundreds of varieties of black mold. But they're growing together. They're eating the food source. It's kind of like cows grazing in the pasture. All of a sudden they bump into each other. Oh, oops. Now this one is going to it's just going to want to keep growing. So it's going to go over the top of this other one, and it's going to basically consume it or cannibalize it. And so Mother Nature gave mold a defense mechanism, kind of like snakes and scorpions have stingers and or venom, and bees have stingers, right? Okay, well, mold has mycotoxins, and the mycotoxins are basically a really strong chemical that makes the mold, if you can imagine this, it makes the mold smell bad or taste bad to another mold. So they're growing together, and this one goes, yeah, I don't like that, so it stops growing. Okay, that's important, because each one of these colonies survives then, but they can't really cannibalize each other. All right, so anyway, that's the kind of what's going on behind the scenes here. Now, the problem is these mycotoxins are powerful chemicals that get into the air. We breathe these spores in, and we ingest them because they're everywhere, and especially the more concentration we have of these things, the worse it gets. And so it can cause, on a nominal level, stuff like weepy eyes and runny nose and coughs and sneezing and that sort of allergenic responses, or asthma-like symptoms. It can also cause headaches, and on a deeper level, it can cause, the scientific community thinks that there might be an attachment between mold and cancers, different kinds of cancer, and mold and fibromyalgia and other immunocompromised diseases. So it's really important to not have mold laying around in your house above and beyond normal levels, right? That's why it's so important for us to do testing and sampling. Okay, so once the testing's done, the lab report comes back. The value that we provide for you is that we will help you interpret the results from the lab report. Okay, the lab report comes back. We'll tell you what kind of molds are present, how much is there, and whether it's really safe for you to occupy that house or not. I mean, that is really critical. And then And then there are recommendations that are going to be put in place for a remediation plan, or what we do to fix it, and how to protect the rest of your house. So if you've got mold in the basement, it's just there, hopefully, and it's not in the bedroom upstairs, right? Well, the testing will tell us all that stuff. And then the remediation plan will give you the kind of a comprehensive analysis of what needs to be done in terms of removal of moldy materials and how we isolate that area, seal everything up, put it all back together, do the reconstruction, do all the refinishing work, make it just like it never even happened. See, that's Servpro. That's what we do. Just like it never even happened. That's our tagline. Anyway, I hope this information has been helpful for you. I'm happy to chat with anybody who has any questions. The phone number down below is 218-727-2575. You can call anytime. Ask for me, Kevin Buck, mold expert at Servpro of the Twin Ports. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks again for watching. To schedule your mold testing appointment today, call Servpro of the Twin Ports, 218-727-2575, or visit us online at servprotwinports.com.